Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Padmaja from ICRISAT and also a scientist visiting at TCI since October this year. Prabhu mentioned that I've been working on papers, but today what I would be sharing with you is the partnership that we have developed between TCI and ICRISAT and how we are contributing to a global or a larger debate on why India continues to be malnourished despite a booming economy, despite incomes rising. And also our previous speakers did say that there is, in the food supply, there is enough energy and protein available. There is also micronutrients like zinc and iron are available in the energy systems. But why is it that the population still continues to be undernourished, especially women and children? So TCI set out with a mission. And so one of the many plausible explanations could be that there is a gap in data. There is a void in the agriculture nutrition data. And so TCI set out with a mission to see if they can bridge this gap and add more data so that we have better results, which could actually correlate with the situation existing in the ground. And that's where ICRISAT and TCI partnered together. As you all know, ICRISAT has a longitudinal panel survey called the VLS or the VDSA, which has been running from 1975 and we are still continuing. So that is a very good platform to test or validate some of the tools and also see how we can fill in the gap between agriculture and nutrition data that is currently missing. So the first thing that we thought of was to look at dietary diversity. And so the minimum nutrition data for agriculture that we decided that should be there in all agricultural surveys was the first one we thought should be the dietary diversity. And this we did it at the individual level. And the avenue for testing and validating these tools was through the summer internship program that we started since 2014. And you will be hearing the experiences of John and Michaela about their experiences in the field. But what we did since 2 years was we have piloted and validated a simple tool which collects data on the dietary diversity. So it not only collects data on like how diverse the diets are, but this tool also informs us about the food habits and the preferences of the rural population. It also tells us what is the source from where they source their food, and it also provides us some additional information about the diversity that is existing in the marketplace. So it's a comprehensive dietary diversity score that will help us to understand how diverse the diets are, and it will also help us to assess the micronutrient adequacy in the diets, because it's like it gives you more information than what just telling us about the diversity in the diet. So that was the internship that we had and the partnership that we have developed between TCI and ICRISAT. And when the interns arrived with scientific rigor and passion, they have all been in the field, they have lived in the villages for 2 weeks, they have stayed with the rural population, studied them in total, collected the data, experienced rural life, and then came back, and then we analyzed the data with the existing historical data that we had to see how this tool works. And our results show that it is very comparable. The results are very comparable with the long, intensive nutrition surveys like the 24-hour dietary recalls that are generally done. But these are very time-consuming and very expensive. So this tool that we have validated is easy to use. It can be adapted to any agricultural survey, and it takes less time, almost about 20 minutes to get information on the dietary diversity of the individuals. So that's an achievement, and then as a starting point, ICRISAT has decided that we will include this as a module in our regular VDSA surveys. So in future, you can see that the VDSA surveys will not only have data on incomes and productivities and education and other indicators, but will also have the nutrition dimension, especially the dietary diversity data that will be available. And this partnership has been it's been a win-win situation for both the partners that are associated in this collaboration. So the students or the interns get a feel of what the real rural life is. They are now able to understand the numbers. In fact, they might be able to see the faces behind the numbers. And for ICRISAT and Indian researchers working in India on nutrition and agriculture issues, it's been a very encouraging environment, and it's kind of like enhancing the human capital of these researchers by sharing their experiences and working with the Cornell professors and researchers. So I won't take much time, but I want Michaela and John to talk more about their experiences. But I hope that this partnership will continue and we'll be able to generate more innovative metrics, more data, and more meaningful interpretations of the data so that policies can be more effective, can be more useful for the rural people. Thank you.
So as the program manager here, one of my primary responsibilities is to oversee the internship. And with that, two of the things that we really look for is that it's useful and that the work that is done has real outputs, not only for the benefit of our host organizations and very valuable partners that give our interns a place to work in the field for the summer, but we also want to make sure that our interns as Cornell students are getting a very valuable educational opportunity. So we think that the TCI summer internship is one of the greatest, if not the best, internship opportunities available here at Cornell. We very much value our partners, and our partners, I think, get a lot out of having our students. 2 years ago, we had interns only at ICRISAT, and we had one student also with our TIS offices. Last summer, we've expanded the internship to more partnerships. As Prabhu mentioned in his comments, we've had interns at DigitalGreen with PRADAN. We have interns who've looked at self-help groups, behavior change communication. So our number of partners are expanding, but our locations, the types of projects, and also the diversity of our the students' background is increasing. So we also think that one of the reasons why this is such an exceptional opportunity for Cornell students is that, first, it fits in very well with this priority of internationalization at Cornell. But second, this gives a unique opportunity to combine development practice with research. These students take the research process from start to finish. They're asking research questions, they're developing real survey instruments, they're implementing the surveys in the field, and then they come back and analyze the data and work over the course of the semester to analyze their research and create valuable outputs for TCI. So they're part of our TCI team, and they help us to advance our research mission here at Cornell and also in the field in India. And finally, we think that this internship offers a wonderful personal development opportunity for our students. Part of an education at Cornell is not just about academics and rigorous training, but also becoming ethical people who are contributing citizens of their community. And in different ways, this internship has the ability to change the lives of these students and may even have them refocus their career priorities. So I'm very, very happy with how we're growing, and I look forward to how we'll grow in the future. But in the meantime, I think it would be best if you heard the personal experiences of Michaela Brown and John Lowry. So thank you, guys.
Hi, my name's Hi, my name is Michaela Brown, and I'm a sophomore in CALS. I'm studying food science and international agriculture and rural development. And I can say without a doubt that TCI has enhanced my Cornell experience scientifically and personally, and just as a person, absolutely. I think first, this opportunity encouraged me and motivated me in my professional development because I got to work with wonderful people like Dr. Padmaja and Kavitha, who have been in a field that I want to work in, and they've been in this field for so long and were so gracious and willing to share their knowledge, and they were there at every meeting teaching us how to develop our research skills, but keeping people at the forefront of our scientific development too. I think TCI provides the opportunity to go into the rural villages for about a third of our time in India, and we were there for 7 weeks total. So we got to go into the homes of people and meet the people that the research was focused on, and we got to know their stories, and we were welcomed into their homes, and that was absolutely one of the most valuable parts for me. And I worked side by side with my enumerator, Vidya, who had lived in the village that I had been in, and she got to introduce me to the people, and just having that motivation was so encouraging and showed me that combining food science and international development was possible and important, and that there are partners globally that have those same goals, and there are people that can impact. And lastly, the research that we did was encouraging as well. So our team began studying market-level dietary diversity to see how that impacted rural nutrition. And that was really interesting because that's something that hasn't been explored much before. And so getting to see the availability of different goods at the market and how that impacted the people who had welcomed us into their homes was absolutely an amazing experience. And I'm so grateful to TCI for the things that they've shown me in a research setting and in a personal setting. So thank you.
I know, well, I just want to say thank you again to the TCI and everyone who made this summer a really special experience. I know we've said thank you a lot, but I think it just goes to show how many times we have to say it, just to get across how much of an experience it was. So I think malnutrition has a lot of moving parts, and as a student you learn about those parts and you learn about the problems, but it's very rare that you get to be a part of tackling that problem. So for me, I felt that was really what made this internship so special and so different from all the other ones that I had before. So I hadn't been outside of the country since I was 10 years old, and never to developing countries. So when we first arrived in India, you can recognize some portions from what you read in the newspaper and National Geographic, but it doesn't come close. It doesn't show the experiences that you get from playing cricket with the kids in the village, or walking through the marketplaces and having vendors yell at you left and right and trying to get you to buy their awesome good that nobody else seems to have. But for me, I think this internship in particular was if not the most important part of my Cornell career, and I'm a senior now and I'm going to graduate next year, but it's started to pivot everything that I've been looking into. So this summer, going back to the newspaper portion, what it doesn't capture is the 2 weeks in the village, and then also the education that comes with it, not only the cultural knowledge, but when you come back to Cornell and you spend an entire semester on a project that you are really dedicated to. So for me, it was looking at eating out behavior and convenience foods and packaged foods, and how they're making an inroad into villages where you wouldn't expect them at all. And for me, through this semester, what you realize is we're a lot more similar to people across the world than I think you'd first think. If you go into an American grocery store, you'll see a little kid begging his parent for the sweet cereal or something on the shelf, and if you go into an Indian village, you'll find the same exact thing. There's a little kid wanting to go down the street to the shop to get the newest packaged good. There's a lot that you gain from getting the chance to go overseas, and for me, I've always thought that what I wanted to do was work on malnutrition in the United States, but I think given this opportunity and given this an experience, it would be a misuse of my education to just think that there's only one nation in the world, and so for me, there's an entire world out there now, and there's a lot to do and there's a lot to be done, but I think this internship has shown me that there's a lot you can do, and I would not have had this chance if I was not accepted in this internship and had this chance to go abroad once again. So thank you so much.